Hey, it's LJ, and in this video, I am going to share with you a crazy emotional intelligence story of mine and how I use self-awareness to promote self-advocacy. It's a really awesome story, and I don't know about you, but as a creative entrepreneur, sometimes I feel like my life is a comic book strip. So I leveraged my new pal, ChatGPT, to help me create a comic book strip for you to follow along. Let's have fun and dive in.
So many years back, I was on a plane to a client visit to do a renewal deal with a music venue. And my boss, my brand new boss, unbeknownst to me, had reached out to this client to start his own relationship with them and conduct his own deal. And my client texted me and was very confused, like, why is your boss calling me? I thought we were in the middle of a deal. What's going on? What that he needs to do a separate deal? I don't understand. And I was a little caught off guard and surprised by this. So I decided to suspend judgment and reach out to my boss and ask him, what's going on here? Is there something that I don't know that I should know? And he used the opportunity to sort of gaslight me and say, you don't want to work with this client. They're a difficult client and I can handle it from here. So kind of putting words in my mouth. And I used this moment to self-advocate.
So while I was living the story, I had a challenging time. I was not really sure what was going on with my boss. I found out from the client. He reached out to me to let me know that my boss had met with him unbeknownst to me. And so I heard through the grapevine that there were in fact things going on without me knowing. However, I still didn't want to assume the worst. I wanted to reach directly out to my boss because I knew that if I just lived with these feelings, that they would steep, and that these feelings of just paranoia and toxicity and stress, like stuff I don't need for my own peace of mind and mental health, would just live inside of me in this silo. And I didn't want that. I wanted to resolve it as best as possible, whatever it was. I was open to giving my boss the benefit of the doubt. And this is a really big first step because as creative entrepreneurs, there's a lot going on all the time. There's a lot going on just with people in general, regardless of industry, going on behind the scenes. As much as I would love to think I'm a mind reader, I am not. And very few people on this planet, I think, are. So, leaning into giving people the benefit of the doubt, being direct, of course, and asking questions, asking open-ended questions to better understand. So asking to understand, hey, what's going on? What's going on? I understand that you reached out to my client and that there's another deal on the table from you. What is going on? Can you fill me in? I would really like to understand. That platform of opening up a conversation, regardless of what the other person's intentions are, whether they're good intentions or nefarious intentions, quite frankly, it isn't really any of my business. That's them. I'm going to choose to take the high road and just give people the benefit of the doubt. And in the times when I have not done this, it has completely come back to bite me in the ass. So take a beat. Try to remove any sort of feelings of personal attack aside for a moment. Suspend judgment for a moment and go, what is happening here? What questions can I ask so I can really better understand the full picture? And when I finally had that conversation with my boss, I realized that he was struggling with something. He was struggling with something at work. And he was newer to the company and he was trying to make his own name for himself. I myself had a very established reputation, a good one. And I had been working in this part of the industry much longer than he had. And I think that he had a lot of pressure on him, either from himself or maybe even externally. He had a lot of pressure on him. And I can have compassion for him as a human being for that. Did he go about it the right way? No, absolutely not. I can judge the behavior. I don't think that he approached it the right way, but I can also give compassion to the person. He did it because he was struggling with something, and I get that because I struggle with things too. So both things can be true. And I think when you can suspend judgment and go in and ask open-ended questions, tabling that judgment, first of all, the other person isn't going to feel defensive or attacked. They're going to be much more open to sharing information with you. And whatever information you learn, it's a gift. They gave it to you. You asked and they shared. They don't have to share, right? So you asked and they shared it with you. Whatever they shared with you, I take that as a gift. It's more information. I'm leaving the conversation with more information than I came into the conversation with. So this moment of self-awareness, right? Compassion towards the other person, also compassion for myself. Like, hey, I'm going to check in with myself, make sure I'm okay here in this equation. There's two of us here. It's not just about him, right? But I'm going to table judgment. It doesn't also have to be a personal attack. And I came to find that it was not a personal attack. It was not personal at all. It was about him. He made it about him, right? And so I can choose to tell myself different stories about that, but I chose in that instance to say, I understand why you might be doing this, and I'm going to use this opportunity to advocate for myself, which is I will take credit for this deal and I will get the full commission for this deal. And I'm not going to make an exception for it. Okay, so in this instance, I really stepped into honoring myself and him as people, and also, give the credit where credit's due, which in this case, it was due for me. It absolutely was. It was my account. I had been working it. I put all my energy into it. They were my relationships. They were my existing relationships. And that renewal contract was mine for the credit and for the commission. And in the end, he could read in my eyes that I wasn't bullshit and I wasn't going to back down. And I wasn't an asshole about it either. It just was very matter of fact. I had supporting evidence to explain should he want it. I didn't really need to offer it. But should he have wanted it, I had evidence waiting in the wings. Granted, there was a power dynamic there. He was my boss. So I want to just keep this in mind and share this with you, because there is usually another way of going about having difficult conversations where you can come out of it feeling like you left the person whole with their dignity. Okay, I wasn't attacking him, but I was defending my position that the credit was due to me. This is a compassion-based work communication tactic, and I highly recommend that you give it a try if you haven't already. If you have, or you have a difficult conversation coming up, oh my gosh, share it in the chat. I would love to hear what you've got going on. Don't leave any names. Let's keep this, confidential in nature in terms of names and places and companies. I don't need to know that sort of information. But situationally, if you have a situation that you want to share, I'm sure that many of our viewers, myself included, would benefit from hearing from your story. So please share. And before we jump, I want to share that every Wednesday, I lead a mindful business community for creative entrepreneurs through a mindfulness session called Mindful Work, Mindful Life. It's super brief. We jump on for about 15 to 30 minutes every Wednesday. It's strategically Wednesday so that we can recenter ourselves in the middle of the week. And you are so welcome and invited. It is free Every week, I've been leading them for free to the public for years. You are so welcome if you are interested in doing mindful work. And I hope to see you there. I will make sure to drop the link in the description box so you can grab it and register for next Wednesday. And in the meantime, keep on keeping on. Compassion rocks, and I'll see you in the next video.